Summary box: the nutfah stage, the formation of the zygote, via the mingling of two fluids from the mother and the father, which contains two small cell structures, the oocyte and the spermatozoon. 3. In a safe place, in a safe place. The next stage in the process of human development is qararin makin. The word qararin means to make sedentary, to establish, to assign, to schedule, to determine, to stipulate, to regulate, and to decide, and it carries the further meanings of to confirm, to establish, and to affirm. 52 Hans Wehr, page 751. The word makin has meanings that include to place, to put or set down firmly, and to put in position. 53 Ibid, page 97. The combination of these two words provide connotations of in a safe place, in a place firmly fixed, in a safe lodging, and in a firm resting place. Scientific interpretation: the terms used by the Quran at this stage coincide with modern embryology. The zygote divides into a ball of cells with an outer shell to form the blastocyst. Studies in embryology assert that around the 6th day after fertilization, the blastocyst implants itself securely into the uterine wall. John Allen and Beverly Kramer explain the process of implantation. Implantation begins at about the 6th to 7th day after fertilization. The part of the blastocyst projecting into the uterine cavity remains relatively thin. The centrofoblast contains a proteolytic enzyme which causes destruction of the endometrial cells so that the blastocyst sinks deeper and deeper into the uterine mucosa. The final deficiency in the endometrium is sealed off by a blood or fibrin clot overlying the blastocyst. This cover is called the operculum. By about 10 to 12 days after fertilization, the blastocyst is completely encased in the endometrium, and thus, implantation is complete. 54 The Fundamentals of Human Embryology. 2nd edition. Wits University Press. 2010, page 23. The analysis of the words qararin, makin, reflect modern developments in embryology. The meanings offered by the combination of the words qararin, makin depict the blastocyst sinking deeper and deeper, and the sealing off of the endometrium with a fibrin clot, ensuring that the blastocyst is completely encased. Summary box: the qararin makin stage, the blastocyst sinking in the endometrium, being completely encased, i.e., the process of implantation. 4. A clinging form: then we made that drop of fluid into a clinging form. The Quran describes the next stage of the developing human embryo with the word alaqah. This word carries various meanings including to hang, to be suspended, to be dangled, to stick, to cling, to cleave, and to adhere. It can also mean to catch, to get caught, to be affixed or subjoined. 55 Hans Wehr, page 634. Other connotations of the word alaqah include a leech-like substance. Although the literal meaning of the word is leech or worm, the co-text of the verse implies that it is leech-like. For example, the statement, John is a lion, implies John was like a lion, whereas to say John has bones means John has bones. Hence, some terms in this paper are taken literally and others are not due to the co-text and understanding of the Arabic language. Having the resemblance of a worm, or being of a creeping disposition inclined to the sucking of blood. Finally, its meaning includes clay that clings to the hand, blood in a general sense, and thick, clotted blood because of its clinging together. 57 An Arabic English Lexicon. Librairie du Liban. 1968. Vol. 5, page 2134. This view, lo that alaqah means clotted blood because of its clinging together, is supported by Ibn Kathir, as he explains the word to mean a dangling clot. 58 Tafsir Ibn Kathir. See his commentary on chapter 96 verse 2. Scientific interpretation as defined by modern embryology, the myriad of meanings for the word alaqah correspond to various stages of the embryo's development. Comparisons can be drawn between Quranic and scientific depictions of the embryo's appearance and its relationship with the womb. According to modern embryology, from day 15, the embryo is hanging or suspended via the connecting stalk, see Figure 1, and it obtains nutrients through contact with the maternal blood vessels. This description bears a striking resemblance to the picture painted by the word alaqah, a hanging or suspended substance, obtaining nutrients from its host's blood. Following this, during the 4th week, 2 processes occur, when the cranial and caudal ends of the neural tube close, known as neurulation, and the initial stages of the folding of the embryo. It is upon the culmination of these 2 processes that the embryo resembles a leech-like form suggested by the word alaqah, a creeping, leech or worm-like substance, see Figure 2, 3, and 4. Another perspective on the embryo's external features is that it resembles that of a blood clot. Although the word alaqah means clotted blood in the sense that it clings, some classical linguists indicate that it can also refer to a blood clot in its exact meaning. This perspective correlates with the development of the primary cardiovascular system and the fact that blood does not circulate until the end of 3rd week, see Figure 5. Below is a correlation of the following meanings of the word alaqah and modern embryology: hanging/suspended suckling blood, leech worm, like substance blood clot hanging, /suspended the connecting stalk, suspending the embryo. Embryologists Barry Mitchell and Ram Sharma explain the hanging or suspended aspects of the alaqah stage. They describe the embryo as being connected to the cytotrophoblast by a connecting stalk of extraembryonic mesoderm, primitive connective tissue. The stalk is the forerunner of the umbilical cord. Barry Mitchell and Ram Sharma. Embryology, an illustrated color text. 2nd edition. Churchill Livingstone. 2009, page 2. Interestingly, John Allen and Beverly Kramer use the word suspend to describe the role of the connecting stalk. Caviation of the extraembryonic mesoderm does not occur at the connecting stalk, which remains intact to suspend the developing embryo in the extraembryonic coelom. The Fundamentals of Human Embryology. 2nd edition. Wits University Press. 2010, page 27. Figure 1 shows the embryo connected to the cytotrophoblast via a connecting stalk, as if it were hanging or suspended, suckling blood, obtaining nutrients via blood vessels with regard to the way the embryo obtains its nutrients through contact with the maternal blood vessels. Barry Mitchell and Ram Sharma write, due to the rapid growth of the embryo during the 2nd week, there is a need for a more efficient means of nutritional and gaseous exchange. This is achieved when the embryonic blood vessels of the chorion come into contact with the maternal blood vessels of the decidua. Embryology, an illustrated color text. 2nd edition. Churchill Livingston. 2009, page 10. By the 3rd week, the exchange of nutrients, respiratory gases, and waste products between the maternal and fetal blood takes place across the placental membrane within intervillous spaces. Maternal blood enters these spaces from the spiral arteries, branches of the uterine artery, bringing nutrients and oxygen for the embryo and fetus. Ibid. Page 11. This reinforces the validity of the meanings of alaqah, and it's evoking images of an entity obtaining its nutrients via blood. Leech/worm-like substance neurulation and the folding of the embryo. The alaqah stage suggests the process of neurulation and the initial stages of the folding of the embryo. Neurulation describes the process when the cranial and caudal ends of the neural tube close from days 19 to 25 size. And the folding of the embryo involves the head and the tail being brought closer together. The combination of these 2 physiological changes causes the embryo to resemble a leech or worm-like substance. Neurulation. At the end of neurulation, the cranial and caudal ends of the neural tube close. The embryo at this point becomes leech or worm-like in appearance. See Figure 2. Barry Mitchell and Ram Sharma explain the process of neurulation. At about 19 days at the cranial end of the primitive streak, the underlying mesoderm and notochord induce the ectoderm to form the neural plate, which rounds up to form the neural folds. The neural plate enlarges initially at the cranial end. At 20 days, the neural plate in the mid-region of the embryo remains narrowed, but it expands at the caudal end. The plate deepens to form the neural groove from which the neural tube forms. The cranial and caudal ends of the tube are open and are known as the anterior and posterior neuropores. These eventually close. Embryology and illustrated color text. Second edition. Churchill Livingston. 2009, page 5.